get a best of 5 between the two follow-up teams. In this case, Bad Monkey Gaming versus Team NK. Team NK having a 1-0 advantage as a result of them defeating BMG in the playoffs and taking that second place seed. But anyways, we got a great best of 5 going to be coming at you. We didn't even know it would be happening until yesterday. And holy crap, excited to be here. With that said, before we talk about the picks and bans, of course, I have a couple of co-casters to announce. First off, joined by Sender once again. Sender, how's it going?
It's going great, Breaky. It's going to be nice to see another team go to Thailand. It's just going to be overall good for the community. Going to see a lot more competitiveness at the tournament. Maybe a little bit unfortunate for, say, one named team, but I think overall it'll be good for the scene.
Something tells me you're leaning towards maybe Stay Green. Well, just so happens we are going to be joined by Swindle Melons as well as another co-caster. Swindle, how you doing, man?
How you guys doing? Yeah, it's not the greatest for us, gotta say. Sam told me a little bit early, and I think he was disappointed when I wasn't ecstatic.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's more competition? And he's like, yeah. Well.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah.
It's like if there are any people who this is bad. There's probably only 5 people in the game, maybe more if you count our families.
True. That
are negatively affected. But I'm sure everybody else is happy. And draft already very well underway, and I cannot believe that they just first picked Moon Queen again. And this time it's NK. I think it was BMG that did it in Game 1 of their previous series.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Sender?
Well, I'm not really against it. I think a lot of the really powerful heroes are off the board, so unless I'm missing something, right?
I just feel like picking Moon Queen that early leaves you open to so many problems. I still think CD is a really good counter to the hero, plus just early pressure. They get the Gauntlet early on as well, though. I do like that. I think that's a really nice hero to pick up in your first 3 picks, because the Gauntlet plus X lane is just really powerful.
So you think maybe BMG screwed up a bit by passing up Gauntlet?
I think so. I would not have taken Tempest in that situation, for sure.
I mean, NK has been picking a lot of Moon Queen with that first pick as well. When it comes down to it, we've been seeing teams just banning the Moon Queen against Team NK specifically, and just in general, of course, when it comes down to it. But
kind of surprising Kronos was passed up in the first 3.
Not to mention they pick Hag there as well. I'm just not a fan. I would have expected. I was actually expecting Kronos there instead of the Hag. I don't really like Hag at all in this sort of lineup. Both Gauntlet and Keeper are pretty effective counters. He's not one of those heroes that can go Geometer's Bane. So a Refresher Keeper really damages the hero, especially since he's kind of forced to go Grimoire before that BKB. It's definitely a comfort hero for Jonas, though. I'd expect he will be the one to play it. So that might have a little bit to do with it, because I've always said it's better to draft suboptimal heroes in order to ensure that all of your players are comfortable in the heroes they're playing, especially with so much on the line.
Yeah.
I think it also just fits their strategy. Their early group up in push strat, and then they kind of rotate into a farm the whole map once they secured early game advantage. But yeah, I do agree with you that maybe not the most optimal thing, but maybe for them it's the best thing they could have drafted.
Bans coming out here: Scout, Bubbles, Grinix, Chrono. So yeah, obviously very suicide-heavy bans coming out from both these teams even. So are you guys confident that is going to be a jungle keeper over here for Team NK?
No, I think it could be suicide. NK could very easily just double dual lane, get the Moon Queen total free farm, maybe stack the jungle, get a really snowballing.
You feel the same, Swindle?
Yeah, I'll have to see how the draft develops. I don't want to pass judgment before I really see how the lineups come down.
All right. Well, we'll see how that develops.
It's interesting that Scout, Grinix, and Chronos all banned. It'll be there's still a Gemini who kind of fills that same role. Madman was the other one I was going to say. So they're banning out all those really annoying melee agility suicides.
Yeah.
The one hero I'm looking at, if I'm Hellborn, is
Flux. I'm looking Flux here. Or not Flux. I meant to say Kraken. I don't even know why I said Flux. Kraken's what I was thinking.
I wouldn't mind potentially a War Beast, but that's not something I think they're going to run. Tundra Suicide wouldn't be bad as well.
BMG never really runs War Beast at all. I think it's just hero they don't like to play.
I'm talking about more NK here.
Oh, you are?
I don't think they will.
I don't know. I don't really think I don't know. I feel like it would be a little bit too mid-game-ish with War Beast in their lineup.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do have the Moon Queen. I'm just trying to think, because Keeper Suicide here would not be bad, but I think they're going to jungle it and or run a double support lineup, which I'm never really a fan of, especially against Hanskin's Tempest. He really punishes people who run 2 supports.
There you go.
MOA.
Master of Arms is going to be their pickup here. It's a support option, so now back to BMG.
It's a nice pick. This leaves them open. They can either draft their Suicide next, or they can just pick another support and reveal that they're going Keeper Suicide. Not really a fan of MOA support, but the options are really limited in the pool.
I think it was more just for the counter push, really. That's probably their idea.
I just don't like MOA support. I mean, the statistics show that he often loses, and it's mostly because you're just picking him for anti-pushing.
Yeah.
And in team fights, he just doesn't really do that well. You negate the usefulness of his third spell as well.
At least they have a keeper in their lineup, so they have some good potential with the goo. But I agree with you that he's not the most useful in the lane, and he's just usually picked for counter push.
They've been right-clicking that Prophet here for a while.
Yeah, I really think they're going to go with support.
Yeah?
Prophet, though, would be a little
right.
odd. And, like, I guess they really want to take early team fights if they go Prophet. Okay, they go okay, I was wrong.
Yeah. I was thinking Pharaoh, actually. I just didn't comment on it. I wasn't sure because he's a really nice counter to Tempest. I actually, with the Meraxes pickup, I like him a lot more, especially with the MOA. Even though it's a support, the goo is pretty devastating, and Pharaoh's one of the best heroes at locking somebody down just for really just long periods of time. So they sit in the goo for a while. And this gives them a really just powerful lineup. If they can get towers rolling and take maybe 2 or 3 in the first 15 minutes or so, they'll be able to create a lot of space for Moon Queen. And Pharaoh and Gauntlet, especially when Gauntlet has a blink, like you can create so much space especially against heroes like Tort, Meraxes, Tempest. And right now, not a single hero on BMG is going to be looking to go push book first item unless Hanskin goes for a slower mech Astrolabe. There's the Bensington pickup. So I saw Jonas playing that in TMM the other day. Don't know if that's viable, but it is melee and agility.
Hey,
I guess it works.
I think it's pretty good here. Like, I think Bensington will give Moon Queen a really hard time in the lane. Maybe not. I think he scales pretty good too, and it'll be a good ganker for joining fights.
I'll say this much: it's kind of funny you bring that up as well because again, we haven't really seen this hero. Like, this is not a hero we expect to see, but Boxy for Willowkeeper. I know, maybe not the most popular name and whatnot, but he played it for them against Reason Gaming here in these bracket stages of the playoffs, and that's the one game they won against Reason Gaming. He dominated with the hero. It was actually really fun to watch in that matchup. So it really kind of showed that this hero does have potential. He is that aggressive ganker. He has actually really good burst damage potential, and definitely a pretty solid laner when it comes down to it. So I love seeing this. Jonas man not afraid to try these unique heroes, definitely in this role, of course. So that's going to be fun to see what he's able to pull through with it. But
the big thing is going to come down to mid lane. You got an MOA Gauntlet versus a Torture Meraxes, and normally I give a huge edge to Gauntlet lanes, but since they have a Keeper jungle instead of pretty much anything with a stun and an MOA support, their kill potential is not very high. Torture also will have a significant range advantage on MOA, along with a harass advantage because you can stun much cheaper and much more effectively. So it'll be curious to see how this lane plays out. I think bottom, it's going to be a solo Moon Queen versus a Bensington, and I don't know how that matchup's going to fare out. Bensington got 2 regens, and in my opinion, that tilts the matchup significantly in his favor.
Yeah.
Moon Queen only got 1.
I'm pretty sure Bensington already wins that matchup. The hero just provides a lot of harass. He's one of the best. He's just a really strong laner in general, and Moon Queen's okay, but he's not. I don't think he's nearly good enough to lane against the Bensington.
Yeah, it could most certainly cause some issues there. And again, Jonas fan, just the level of the player that he is in general too. So we'll see how he does manage, of course, against Haxer and playing the Moon Queen in that bottom lane. You see this like Ward aside he places actually. Just in the jungle there, not blocking any camps or anything like that.
It's the same one he placed the other day. He just likes for vision. He doesn't really care about blocking the pull. However, though, if a player's just trying to counter the pull, sometimes it gets countered, but if it doesn't, he'll get a ton of vision, see all of the movements from Keeper the Forest.
Hanskin, in the meantime, doing some good counter warding at that top rune spot right there. Going to take care of that ward aside, and it looks like his jungle's going to be good as well in the end, not having to worry about any really blocks coming out here, so he'll be having some good farm. Unless Pharaoh, Pharaoh tried to maybe get there. No, he actually just puts a ward of sight down and cuts down the tree, so Hanskin going to have that open jungle to work with. Again, keeping an eye on his farm. And, of course, Keeper the Force as well. Tankafet, sure enough, ends up in the jungle when it comes
just
down
to note, Fuzi went the very greedy double Mark of the Novice build, and Pharaoh did not get pulled regen. This is pretty much optimal circumstances for a Hag in this matchup. I expect him to do very well. Mid lane, by the way, Tortured, a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Bloodlust Kill maybe trying to chase him down, but it's not going to happen. Sealkid just a little too quick, and also the Quake stun there from Super KGE, enough to keep him out of death, but clearly right there, Les QQ and Insania making a statement, using that hook advantage, and you can tell they're playing passive here. Specifically because of the circumstances right now. But this middle matchup, are you guys leaning towards either or is it just simply if he lands a hook, then gets a kill perhaps?
I think it's mostly even. That's really the only way that this Gauntlet lane can have success, or significant success, is when they hook the Torturer.
Yeah, exactly.
That was really damaging because, as I said, Silkid had to pull a lot of regen, so he's very low on it right now. Just got a health pot from the Courier, but that's damaging for the team. I believe Hanskin upgraded the Courier because there's no way Silkid had enough gold for it. And it looks like he did. I'm not certain, though.
Yeah. And if he did, obviously taking away a good chunk of farm himself in terms of working in that jungle. But again, he does have that open jungle, and Hanskin, the master of Tempest, especially when it comes to jungling with it. So his start already looking very, very strong in the beginning. 2-minute rune going to be coming out here. Master of Arms going top. It happens to be the refreshment up there. Bottom rune's double damage, though, and Keeper of the Forest will gladly pick that up. So that'll hopefully excel Tankapet's farm in his own jungle. In the meantime, what's going on with the bottom lane matchup, though? Moon Queen 5-0, Sir Benzington 10-5. So, as you both kind of expected, it looks like Benzington having a much better time down there.
Well, Moon Queen has a couple creeps coming into the tower, but yeah, it's just a favorable matchup for Benzington, and I think he'll even get further ahead as the lane develops.
It's funny as well because the game that Lions lost against BMG, they ran a Moon Queen in the short lane, and he got abused, and that's what we're seeing happen here. So
yeah.
It's pretty much the same error, except a different team has made it. And it comes down to a lot the pooled regen, but it's just Moon Queen's just not strong enough of a laner here. I would have much preferred to see two heroes against him.
Yeah, Hacks can't do anything in this situation. Like, he's going to have to ferry out regen or be forced out of lane. I think he's just buying regen on the Courier, though. Yeah, he already has a health potion.
I mean, you just see that Lancelot damage, man. That's a level 2 Lancelot, and that drop Taxman's life quite a bit right there from just one auto attack of it. It really just shows you the burst damage potential of this hero again in that laning phase. So, no doubt, again, not too surprised that he is having the better time in the end.
And then the thing is about now that Moon Queen is suffering, this means Pharaoh's going to suffer more because look at his gold right now. His bottle, he has 2 trees left, which is okay. But like this is when he'd need the bottle. It's going to be sending out, and then he'd be able to stay in lane. And now he might have to go back to base or go to the observatory to pick up more regen.
Mm-hmm. So, what about Sir Benzington and his build, though? Again, we saw it on Boxy. It's like the only time we've ever seen it, at least in a high-tier game, successful for that matter. He went Energizer, I think, in a Nullifier Blade. He didn't even get the Staff of the Master. It's not like you said when we were talking about that, you maybe liked the Staff of the Master, but would you see a certain direction here? Does Staff make sense to you, or what?
I don't really know if there's a right build. I don't play the hero myself. I've only seen like one person played in TMM, so
I'd like to see Energizer.
Well, yeah.
In this game, I'd probably say BKB. Potentially even Geos if he's that far ahead.
Yeah.
But definitely a Shrunken early on, just because it's almost pure magic damage coming out from the Legion team. So you definitely want early Shrunkens on both Hag and Benzington. Tempest too, even.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tempest, by the way, grabbing the top regen rune that was left up much longer than I think it should have, but no vision for the Legion side, so they only could really check the bottom safely. But that'll be a nice boon for Hanskin's farm.
Mm-hmm.
Already level 6, 4.5 minutes in, about 60 gold GPM ahead of Keeper.
What about the Hag at the top lane again, being played by Fuzi here? What do you think of his build, maxing out the Sonar Scream? Is that, you'd say that's normal in this matchup here? Oh, actually, he's going to be going in on a Pharaoh. Bat Blast going to be used right there, but not the most damage in the world. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Sir Benzington diving for the Bloodlust kill, and Wretched Hag is actually going to walk away in the end. Can't get the kill, so Pharaoh lives, but Moon Queen goes down at the bottom lane. And, I mean, that was kind of interesting at the top side. I think Fuzi expected a little bit more to happen, but, again, they get the Bloodlust kill. So Moon Queen's struggles continue here, to say the least.
Yeah, you see Zive, he pushed him with the wall, so it made it so he didn't have mana for another Sonar Scream. I don't know if he would have had the damage with another Scream, but that definitely made it so he couldn't get the kill.
Moon Queen, under 200 gold per minute now. You see Sir Benzington obviously jumping up because of that 375, and he's still sitting on the... Okay, he did go the bottle. He just power supply now, so I guess he's just getting plenty of that build-up here. And again, perhaps eventually into Energizer as far as the only choice. But again, just real quick, either one of you is Hag is would you expect this build to be on Hag instead of over the HoN, perhaps?
I mean, I personally I like going the Sonar stream more.
I never level. I've played lots and lots of Hag. I never max the Q. I think maxing the E is significantly better. HoN's just too single. It's just it doesn't take the damage isn't instantaneous. It limits your farming capabilities, and you don't have the ability to like farm to get a creep kill and also hit the enemy hero. It's also just more damage. It's just a much more effective spell, and it also enables you to max the blink because you, in essence, when you max Q, you have to max E afterwards. And I really think having the level 4 blink at level 10 is really core on the hero.
I think maybe against like a Grinix or like when some of those invis heroes are a scout, but generally just you want the AoE nuke presence for the team fights and just for all what Kyle stated.
I mean, the cooldown on Scream is 7 seconds, and if you can get your blink to 6 seconds, you can in essence just blink Scream in, run away, rinse, repeat.
Look at bottom lane, though. Tempest ultimate going to be used. There's the joust in, and Moon Queen should be bursted down in the end now. Keeper the Force going to cut them off, though. In comes the ultimate for Keeper the Force to root them down. Pharaoh is here as well with Gauntlet. They will pick off Tempest. Could they also get Benzington? Maybe a Wrath of the Pharaoh to land. They want to make sure they get the appropriate angle right here.
Mid's being dope.
Not going to go for it. But yeah, you see in the middle lane, though, Master of Arms is going to be doving on, and he will be taken out. So they take advantage of him on obviously Gauntlet missing as a result of that. Pharaoh choosing not to go on Sir Bennington, but I guess the joust. Does the joust go through the walls?
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess it does, so that makes sense right there. Now Gauntlet is actually going to be locked down, and he too is going to fall. Look at that, Sir Bennington jumping in the air with the Nightfall just to make sure. And not to get turned around on by any means. But obviously all aggressive play coming out from BMG right there, and they get the top tower push when it's all said and done. So very, very, very good sequence of events coming out.
This is the Lions that we remember, or the BMG rather. Fuzi constantly pressing the top tower. As soon as they realized Pharaoh's TP'd bottom, you could tell their communication was on point, and they immediately went to dive the MOA middle with that haste rune. And then Jonas just continues looking for kills, says, hey guys, I got a gauntlet over here, and they go for him too. So it's really well done by BMG, and this is why this is the style of play that earned them so much success, just relentless team fighting, constantly trying to pick off heroes, and it's working. I think a lot of it comes down, like Moon Queen's 0-2 under 200 GPM. I mean, I'm pretty sure you said this a day or two ago, Sender. You can't, when you put Moon Queen in a short lane without any support, this is what can happen, and this is the real key hero for this NK lineup.
Yeah, I think they just picked a really greedy lineup. As you said, I guess the Moon Queen early kind of bit them a bit in the ass because they weren't prepared to protect it with a double lane and then the Benzington pick just totally countered it. But I don't think Benzington's going to die down here, will he?
There is Master of Arms. I mean, looking maybe something, but yeah, he should be fine. I mean, he does have a joust. He's going to get it off right here, most likely. Yeah, just easily joust away.
Actually, he might have. I think he would have died
if he ulted there. Yeah. As well. He does have a vestment though.
MOA didn't use Forked Lightning, and it might have bounced to 1 creep, but I think it would have been like 4 beams on him.
That's true, yeah. No Moon Finale coming out, so in the end, stays alive, and Sir Bensington just going to go back and get the creep kills in the lane. Keeper the Forest, he does have a root back up, but he is farming off to the side in the meantime. Keeper's farm, by the way, it is pretty damn good now. 340 gold per minute, actually. So
Keeper's rotating in, though.
But yeah, here he comes. He's got the invis up. He's going to try to jump, but no. Sir Bensington just feeling something's up. I don't know if he actually spotted something or not, but just simply Spider Sense is tingling, if anything, and he is going to be fine. So no jump going to be happening right there. Well, it looks like we got about a couple-minute pause coming up. Not a big deal in the world, but BMG, though, again, a comfortable lead, and obviously it starts with the struggles of Moon Queen, more specifically. And I mean, Hag, she is having a great time. 390 gold per. I was going to say, is she doing that decent? Yeah, definitely is at the top side, so.
They just really need to get some kills going. Then have Keeper push somewhere to create space. I mean, he's got really good farm, 340 GPM. So they just need to find a couple kills with their Gauntlet or Pharaoh ultimates, Keeper even, and just push off of that. If they get like maybe 2 kills in a tower, they're right back in this. They just desperately need to make something happen, because otherwise Lions just has a much better just easy, like early skirmish squad, whereas Legion revolves around team fighting and their ultimate usage. So they just have to make some plays.
Would you say Gauntlet needs to go top, or they need to try to get a kill bottom on Bensington? That's probably like their play.
I think an Invis gank on Hag is probably the easiest, but I'd like to see them kill Bensington bottom. He doesn't have any vision, and if they can kill him once, like, it's a free tower. I don't think you're going to be able to defend that as Lions if
Oh, for
you
sure.
have keeper +2 pushing bottom.
Yeah.
The only counter push is Hag, and that'd require bringing like all 4 heroes to defend a tower.
Yeah. Tempest Elemental Void. It's got about 32 seconds to be specific remaining on that, so keeping in mind on if that's going to be up in time, maybe when a push does happen. But again, they tried for the gank on the bottom lane. Sir Bennington reacts to it, and so we'll see if they kind of reset here after the pause and maybe go for another gank, if not just an outright push. But again, they are in that struggling spot. But you have Gauntlet here, 273 gold per minute. Don't expect a portal key on him anytime soon. Meraxis, he is actually farming a step up, but still that portal key is going to be ways off.
The thing is, Meraxis is going to start getting free farming because Moon Queen is struggling so much they had to rotate MOA down to the bottom lane, so he's going to be farming free. Well, I guess MOA's never mind. But as I was saying, he's just going to free farm for like the next 5 minutes if nothing happens, if the game stagnates.
So Wretched Hag just pushing up the top lane. You see Tankafan? No, he's not going to be heading to the lane. I thought he might have been, but actually going to head towards the left here and continue to farm. Is actually Gauntlet's even taking the yellow camp right there, so trying to get any kind of farm enhanced that he can on his side. 10-minute rune. You see Tankafan right here, maybe trying to destroy the rune, but nope. Sir Bennington able to pick it up, and happens to be an Invis, which he bottles there, and refresh rune picked up by Wretched Hag in the meantime at the top side. They're trying to set up a gank here at the top side, speaking of that. Will Pharaoh maybe get caught out? He is hiding quite a bit, and unless he pokes in right here and gets caught in that bad spot, I don't think he's going to be in too problematic of a situation. Looks like Zibby's playing passive enough where he is going to be fine in the end. But going to just fall back to the tower. But again, Fuzi's just
bottom lane, Invis Tempest. It's not going to get. Oh, it's going to get spotted out here, I think. I think it is.
Yeah, oh, yeah. They picked up on something.
But he's trying to bait it because they know they need kills. They need to make something happen.
Yeah. Look at that. Keeper's here. Keeper's coming in. There's the jump. Moon Queen dropping fast. There's the Tempest on the man. It is going to be enough for the kill. He got Master of Arms as well. He gets Pharaoh. Finally, Keeper the Force able to make it. Can they at least get some turn kills? Sir Bennington still alive, but the bad blast coming out from Wretched Hag in the meantime. Keeper the Force dropping. Keeper the Force one more auto attack away. He's going to barely live the hot damage. Will it be enough to kill him? Pharaoh goes down. No. Keeper the Force will survive, but the bait is unsuccessful big time. BMG just had too many numbers in the end, and they're just going to outright push this bottom lane now.
Gauntlet, no teleport, and this is what you have to expect when you're playing Lions. Like 2 started, but 5 were there pretty damn quickly.
Yeah, reacting in time. They TP'd in, and sure enough, yeah, exactly. All 5 happened to be there. So the no TP on Gauntlet, most certainly a big deal. And again, Moon Queen, 170 gold per minute. It's just not her game, and you like to think Team NK has hopes here of slowing things down and making a comeback, but it's going to continue to get more and more difficult as the game goes on. It seems like middle lane they were trying to gank. Gauntlet's going to react to it, actually, but not really the most follow-up. Expected them maybe to be a little closer. Couldn't get there in time, so no counter kills coming out in the end. Sir Bennington still doesn't have an item further past his early build-up here. He tries to go on a Master of Farms. He Royal stomps him in, and again, that joust damage, man. Just so, not the joust, but the his E, his lance along. So strong. There's the joust coming out, speaking of it. Just rinse and repeat here pretty much. You can tell BMG kind of in that control. As you said earlier, Kyle, just this is what you were used to seeing with BMG from the past. And what we haven't been seeing a whole lot, honestly, in these bracket stages. Thus their disappointing finish, so.
It's definitely nice to see them recover their old form. Although I will say this game has a lot more to do with the strategy than the execution per se.
Yeah.
BMG's playing great, but like again, the Moon Queen first pick, the way lanes were set up. I mean, you in essence sacrificed your most important hero to a Bennington in the long lane, whose main, like if you look at Royal Stomp, that ability is like really, really bad. The Joust is very difficult to hit, so while his laning presence is incredibly strong, it's like only that way against a hero with like limited range, like a Moon Queen. Plus, he had more regen. I mean, we kind of knew this was going to happen from jump, and they just abused the Moon Queen, which is the same thing NK did to BMG on Sunday. So we'll have to just see what happens. But at this point, I don't really see a way for NK to get back into this without making a lot of kills really quickly.
You saw right there, Ethan. I mean, he finds Sir Bennington, that is, finds a couple people in the jungle, and he's able to just joust away without really taking any hits in the process. So, yeah, again, here in this game number 1. Now, at the same time, NK came in 1-0 up in the series, of course, or at least they have that going for them. Oh, that was interesting. Nightfall was used as the Gauntlet Blast came out. And so he was able to disjoint the stun, it looks like, and there's a stomp on a Master Farm, so easy kill to him. So LesQQ, he's not having the best ultimates here either. And it's just more signs, more reasons to perhaps look at that timer here and just be like, guys, do we just want to move on to the next game when it maybe hits that mark? Because just things are just not connecting here.
Yeah, I do.
Team NK.
I think NK is the kind of team that will just concede a 15 unless something goes their way before then, because they realize that they have a lot of games ahead of them, and this game is going to be a really hard one to win and very low percentage chance, so there's really little point to frustrate ourselves when we can just move on to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely talk about that a lot in cases like this, and so it seems like, again, we'll have to wait and see, but for now, BMG will just continue to do what they've been doing best throughout this game, just pushing in lanes, setting up ganks, and controlling the map, really, when it comes down to it. You see, Hack Fuzi's just been living up here at this top lane, not able to push in the secondary tower just yet by any means, but putting a lot of pressure. Benzington, again, is going to just roam into the jungle. He has a double damage rune this time, so, but it doesn't look like he's going to get any kills out of it in the meantime.
And funny thing to know, with maxed out Lance Along, he's got 22 less range than Moon Queen.
Really?
That's actually hilarious, yeah. The 200 range on top of that, so yeah, 328 compared to the Moon Queen.
So,
who sure enough is
if you get a Wing Bow, he's considered a melee hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so you want to get the extra range on top. That would be pretty crazy too, but nope. No extra
Top lane?
benefit there.
Nope. Okay, nothing's going to happen. I think the lane ward spotted out MOA.
Yeah.
And you see CLK blocking Ancients with the counter ward, very smart, because at this point, there's really only two ways NK can really win. It's either like Moon Queen gets really farmed and he snowballs, or they just find a ton of kills. So kind of eliminating one of those options.
And blink on Meraxis, though. I just don't see a way from the dude. They need a blink. And Pharaoh really is the one who could be setting stuff up right now, but because it's just so late, it's going to be really difficult for them to make things happen. Zibe just not having the game he needed, and it's not even on him. It's just they just got outplayed as a team. There was one team fight. Lions had 5, and the initiation. NK had 4, and even at that point, the game was already looking pretty grim for them. So it's just at this point, how long are they going to hold out until the eventual BMG victory? I would say.
I mean, you saw right there. They just grouped up middle. They tried to get a hook from Gauntlet. He missed it, and it's like, well, we just got to kind of go back into the jungle now a little bit. I mean, they're still just kind of roaming around as a gang squad here, hoping for any opening to happen, but it is not happening.
Invis Tempest, where is he going to go with this? Maybe into the jungle?
Another grapple right there missing. So, yeah, you see Tempest. He is going to come into the Legion jungle. Oh, he could cut them off right here. This could be big, actually, if the Legion team is occupied. They're focusing on the Sir Benzington over there, but Tempest running in with that invis. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. He's finding the angles. Rest of the team going to be coming over. You just feel a big ultimate coming right here. Sir Benzington going to jump. Tempest is here in the back, going to cut them off. Maybe there goes Sir Benzington. Tempest running in. Meraxis with the portal key. There's the Tempest ultimate. No, we didn't catch Keeper the Force, but in comes Pharaoh. It just doesn't matter, though. Again, it's too strong over here on BMG. Pharaoh's going to fall. Keeper the Force is barely alive, but the vote to concede already coming out. So, as kind of expected, Team NK just giving it a shot there, seeing if anything, if they can maybe take a fight. Who knows what can happen, but it wasn't to be. And BMG just full control pretty much. We kind of already recapped it for the most part, but full control for the beginning. The draft had a lot to do with it, and when it's all said and done, the short lane Moon Queen that's unprotected in an unfavorable matchup, not usually going to end up in a favorable result. I think it's what we learned here in the end. So, Sender, first with you. Any final words on this game here?
I think it's just a pretty simple one. BMG had them outlaned, outdrafted, and sometimes that's really just all it takes to win a game really fast.
What's up, Kyle?
I was just going to say don't first pick Moon Queen.
Learned the lesson there. So that's going to be interesting to see if whether or not Moon Queen's banned here and whatnot going into the next year games. And